We begin in Oakland, where the fire department is laying out an alarming reality about the impact to public safety when 2 fire stations close starting on Monday. Good evening, I'm Andrea Nakano. The chief says the temporary closures will slow down response times to incidents like the Keller fire, which burned roughly 15 acres in the Oakland Hills back in October. Dahlin spoke to a homeowner who says she might have lost everything if those stations were closed.
Station 28, it's one of 2 stations in the Oakland Hills that will shut down for the next 6 months. The fire chief says the closures will save the city about $5 million, but neighbors worry losing the stations will lead to catastrophic results. Oakland firefighters kicking down a burning fence to get to the flames behind it. That was Nanita Tadeo's fence. Nanita says she thought it was over when the October 18th Keller fire surrounded her home. She credits the firefighters at Station 28 and nearby stations for saving her neighborhood.
I'm not going to call it lucky, but we are blessed. Blessed because we have because of the firefighters that save our house.
The Keller fire severely damaged her neighbor's house. She only lost her fence. But once Station 28 closes on Monday, Nanita worries response times will be much longer.
I'm pretty upset about it also because, what if there will be another fire?
Not just fires. Neighbors like Frederick Perry worry about medical emergencies. Frederick says about 6 months ago, he had a bad fall inside his home. Firefighters from Station 28 rushed him to the hospital.
Every second counts. They're the emergency response up here. And there's a lot of seniors who live up here, and it could be the matter of life and death.
The fire chief admits there's no way to sugarcoat it. It's a bad situation. But he's forced to temporarily shut down 2 stations on Monday due to a large city budget deficit. Stations 28 and 25. Station 10 was already closed. It'll remain closed because of budget cuts.
We're going to get here as quickly as we can, as we always do. It doesn't change how we operate. It changes the amount of time that it takes for us to get to that call. There are going to be delays in our delivery, but when you call 911, an engine is going to show up for sure.
The 24 firefighters at stations 25 and 28 will be transferred to other firehouses in the city. The chief hopes to reopen the 2 stations in July in time for the wildfire season. He says they'll brown out other stations then, depending on the budget situation.
I've been telling folks to try and hold their breath for 10 or 15 minutes and see if they can hold their breath for 10 or 15 minutes, because that might be how long they're waiting for a fire engine to show up if they have a stroke or a heart attack or they need CPR. And that's a reality.
The fire chief could not say how much slower for the response times since there'll be so many factors involved. Nanita just hopes it won't result in people dying or losing their homes.
Fire stations is really necessary for the community.
Aside from the fire department, the police department will also take a big hit because of the budget cuts. The cuts will shrink the already understaffed police force down to around 600 cops.
And Daw tells us the department will have more specific information next month on whether they'll have to brown out any additional stations. Meantime, more than 50 Oakland firefighters were called to the scene on this fire on Broadway and 19th Street last night. There were some nervous moments for people living in a high-rise there, but there were no injuries.